Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. We'll start in 2 minutes. This is just a 2-minute warning, and then we'll get our presentation underway. Thank you. All right, everybody who's going to join us up here, please come on up, and we'll get underway. So, Bob, go ahead and come on up. Everybody who's going to join us here. So good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Filippi. I'm a communications officer with BART, and thank you very much for joining us as we celebrate the installation of next-generation fare gates at all of our stations in San Mateo County. We're really pleased to be able to celebrate this with everybody, and with that, let me bring up BART's General Manager, Bob Powers.
Boy, so very, very excited to be here in an exciting morning here to really recognize the accomplishment here of an element of what, if you've seen me lately out in the system or out in the press, what I tout as the new BART. And this is just one element of that, but I would argue it's the most important element in the next generation fare gates and the completion of all the next generation fare gates in San Mateo County. So it's just an honor to be here. But before, I'm going to go a little off script here. I'm way better when I go off script here. I wanted to take a moment to recognize somebody on my team who has been the driving force, certainly for schedule on delivery for the fare gates system-wide, but singularly the force to deliver the fare gates on schedule here, ahead of schedule here in San Mateo County, and Michael Jones. And Michael is my deputy. And I'm not trying to embarrass Michael, but he is responsible for a lot of the day-to-day operations of BART, and his leadership and keeping us all together is one of the reasons we're here ahead of schedule. And so, Michael, I would just want to acknowledge you and thank you for being part of the BART family. Okay, a typical weekday today, right? How many trains run through San Mateo County, BART trains? Anybody want to father a guess? Anybody? Besides Michael? 200. Anybody else? How about double that and then add 50%? We have 520 trains, 520 trains that run through San Mateo County. San Mateo County is an extremely important part of the BART system and the fabric of public transit in the Bay Area. Make no mistake about that. And to couple that, BART's ridership is up 13% from this time 1 year ago, 13%. And look, it's not magic, right? The reasons why the ridership up and folks are back taking public transit are right here, right? This is one reason. It's the new fare gates that are in. We're going to be done system-wide here in less than a month. It's the additional presence of BART PD in the system. It's the managers riding trains in the system. It's the operators. I see April Chan right here in front of us here, right? How about, and I don't know if Michelle Bouchard is here who runs Caltrain, but it's our Monday morning meetings, that pulled together this big sync press event that was 2 weeks ago, and that was all about better connecting the transit agencies on schedules so make it easier for folks to take public transit. There's no two ways about that. And I see Alex Bockelman standing back here, the head of MTC. The operators in MTC are all plugged in and working together to deliver public transit for the Bay Area and for San Mateo County. And so, and the latest one was just yesterday, we went Tap to Ride. BART went Tap to Ride, and it was so well received. These fare gates work right here. All the fare gates in San Mateo County work Tap to Ride. And that's just the next step in the new BART that I'm calling the new BART out there. And so, make no mistake, the riders of San Mateo County are telling us that they want a safer and they want a cleaner BART. And we are all about that, a safer and cleaner BART. And I think we're listening. And we still have work to do. We get that as BART. We get that as public transit. We can always do better. But we are on the right path to deliver, not only for San Mateo County, but for the Bay Area. And so it's a pleasure to be here today. I have two more points, and then I have one more point, I guess. You know, it's just amazing the level of support that's here. And I don't know, from about here all the way around, at one level or another, are elected officials. And they wanted me to read all the names, and I'm not doing that because I'll leave somebody off, and then I'll be in more trouble than I'm generally in. And so just a round of applause for all the elected officials. It really is good for my soul to see everybody out here supporting public transit. It does me good, and it'll make the rest of my day, I kid you not. I'm going to turn this over in a second to the mayor, but we have a special announcement here. I do. I'm going to take liberties as the BART general manager. We have Supervisor Canepa here with us today. We're a supervisor. And if you don't know, the supervisor turned 50 yesterday. And I just wanted to acknowledge that, not the 50, but he's been a great supporter. But how about a big happy birthday for the supervisor on 3? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. No singing, no singing. We're probably not the singing crowd here. Yeah. Okay. Supervisor, I just wanted to take liberty as a GM to say that. Now, it really is an honor for me to introduce San Bruno Mayor and San Mateo County Transportation Authority Board member Rico Medina. Mayor Medina. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you.
Good morning. And welcome to San Bruno. I'm glad we're doing it inside because the weather is warm, and I'm going to give the general manager the credit for the weather here in San Bruno today. Thank you. You know, in 2003, this station was dedicated. Now we return back here together to cut the ribbon, to honor these new fare gates. As a directly elected mayor of San Bruno, I'm especially proud that our station marks the finish line for these new fare gate upgrades across the county of San Mateo. Riders across the county are already benefiting from our new system, and now San Bruno joins them with the gates that are safer, more secure, and more accessible. These fare gates are important to me, our community, and our San Bruno Police Department, who, when they've done fare evasion, can see a reduction in criminal activity of up to 60%. This is something the San Bruno PD and this community has been wanting. I have helped, along with others, to fight for, and I am happy to say it is here. Whether someone is heading to work, catching a flight, which our city manager from San Bruno will be doing this afternoon from this BART station, or traveling with a bike or stroller, these gates are designed to make the trip smoother and more welcoming. This project is an example of how collaboration truly can work. The San Mateo Board and Mike Callaghy stepped forward with an MOU offering a loan as a backup opportunity. We also, thanks to the Transportation Authority staff, who expedited the process, which is not an easy process to do, but did so. The Transportation Authority allocating and providing the resources. BART, who delivered the gates and will now maintain them. And the monies that I've heard today from Mr. Jones that will be put into Northern County of San Mateo for the BART stations from here and going forward as a partnership. And thanks to the other mayors and the electeds that are here for being here and your support. Together, we have given riders a meaningful improvement that will last for years. Thank you very much. And now I would like to introduce East Palo Alto Council member and our San Mateo County Transportation Authority Chair, my colleague who I'm honored to serve with, Carlos Romero.
Buenos dias. Good morning. I guess, how many politicians does it take to open fare gates? Actually, it takes an entire family, because it is true. It took a while. We are here. I do want to say at the beginning, BART is better today than it was 2 years ago. Let's make that really clear. It still has to move forward in other ways, but let's make it clear the safety is better. Your community ambassadors don't carry guns. They actually work with the homeless. The stations are better lit. It's improving. Let's accept that. This is one of the issues that I think that BART and the counties have addressed around fare evasion. These particular gates are taller, stronger. They're equipped with smart sensors. They're designed to stop the fare evasion. But guess what? They're also better for travelers that have luggage, for mothers who have strollers, and for bikers like me who need to get through these things. So congratulations to all of you for putting this together. Let's not forget, of course, Measure W, which helped fund this locally. If it weren't for that Measure W funding, we would not have been able to have paid this with this sales tax, and we would have had to have passed the burden onto our cities. We did not want to do that. Measure W was there. We want to continue to fund that, and certainly looking forward to a measure to reapprove Measure A. Finally, what I will say is that, and this is indeed a shameless plug, that looking to the future, we should be supporting Measure SB 63 and bringing more funding into the transit environment so that we can improve Caltrain, we can improve BART, we can improve Samtrans, and make sure that all those folks that are dependent on transit are able to have a safe, clean, and reliable system. So again, thank you all. Yes. Forgive me. And most importantly, I would like to introduce Dave Canepa, who happens to be this year the Board of Supervisors president and a very, very strong advocate for transportation, transit, and working class folks in this community. Please, David.
Thank you so much. You know, today is a historic day, and I'm delighted to be here. I want to recognize from the Bay Area Council, Jim Wunderman. Give it up for Jim. Thank you for being here. Whenever you can have a general manager wish you a happy birthday, you know you're winning. So thank you, Bob. I want to recognize a couple people that I think, at the end of the day, really put this together under your leadership, Bob. Let's give it up for Michael Jones. Thank you, Michael. Incredible partner in making this happen. This doesn't happen without you, Bob, and doesn't happen without you, Michael Jones. And from MTC, you know, I have a couple bosses. The first is I have MTC Chair Sue Nowak, great friend. And then we have incredible staff at MTC, and that is, you know, Andrew Vermeer is our CEO, and then we have Alex Bockelman. You know, today is so important for San Mateo County. I hope the cameras can see all this. Look at this. Every representative from almost every city coming in, stepping up, stepping in. And make no mistake about it, we cannot live in a world without BART. Let me say that again. We cannot live in a world without BART. And so, as mentioned, SB 63 is really tracking and moving along. There's accountability provisions in this measure. I feel, as well as others, that this is the best thing for San Mateo County. If we do nothing, Caltrain will fail, Samtrans, BART. I grew up on the BART system, incredible system. So today, I always look at how people, and maybe it's the Italian side of me, keep their word. Michael Jones and BART, you said that you were going to create a plan. You've created a plan. You've kept your word. And for people who keep their word, you support them. And I want to say this. I am so glad we have these gates, and I'm so glad that BART is going to thrive and be here for another 50 years. Thank you very much. She's such a good friend, I forgot to introduce her. And that is our MTC chair, Sue Nowak. Sue.
All right, that's a typical transition for me. Before I start, thank you, Dave. I want to just thank the BART police. I took BART here today, and there was just a very, very minor issue on the train. And BART police were there right away, handled it so smoothly, both of you, and it was taken care of in a matter of seconds. So I just wanted to thank them, and if everybody could give them a round of applause, it was really great service today. A special thanks to all of our San Mateo County colleagues who do so much of the heavy lifting to bring all the various parties together to make this ribbon cutting possible. It's great to be part of another BART celebration this week. This is my second one this week. If you didn't see me on television, now you see me in person. And it's only Thursday. Now I go on a cruise tomorrow, so that's it for me. We at MTC are happy to have been a funding partner in the Next Generation Fairgates deployment, and we're pleased by the ever-growing cooperation between the Bay Area transit agencies to make the transit experience better for riders across our region. All these improvements are part of the ongoing implementation of the Bay Area Transformation Action Plan approved by MTC in 2021. Another transformation is right around the corner as MTC, BART, and 24 other Bay Area transit agencies gear up for the next transition to the Next Generation Clipper system. BART this week took the first step toward Next Generation Clipper when it introduced Tap and Pay, Tap and Ride, allowing riders to use a contactless credit or debit card to enter the BART system. We'll be expanding the Tap and Ride feature to support credit card and debit card payments on all Bay Area transit agencies, plus free or discounted fares, transfers between different agencies, and improved Clipper account management tools. We at MTC are proud of Clipper's 90% plus customer satisfaction rate, and we're working hard to make our service better. I now want to ask another Bay Area Mayor, Anders Fung from Millbrae, who also serves as San Mateo County Transportation Authority member, to share his thoughts about the Next Generation Fairgates.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the partnership, Bart. We really appreciate it. Today we gather here to celebrate the grand opening of these Next Generation Fairgates. This $10.3 million represents the San Mateo County Transportation Authority's commitment to continue partnering and working with our regional transit operators and our partners. This is our way to protect our key regional infrastructure. All of these improvements will continue to keep our transit safer and ensuring those who depends on transit to go to work every day, go to school every day, picking up your children from daycare every day, can do so safely, efficiently, and affordably. The TA has chartered to be the steward of the San Mateo County Measure A and Measure W funding. My chair has already said that a moment ago. And we're here today to celebrate this important regional transit investment, and I emphasize that being an investment that many San Mateo County residents have come to depend on every day. Now, I want to particularly thank a few people here in the audience. My executive director on the TA, April Chen. Without your leadership, this wouldn't happen as quickly as it did. Thank you very much. And also our executive officer, Peter Skinner, is in the back. Thank you so much for all the magic that needs to happen behind the scene. Thank you so very much for this dream team. I also want to thank the BART GM, Bob Power, for working with us throughout the San Mateo County, and also Michael Jones as well, our deputy GM at BART, who always be open for a conversation and making sure everybody is taking care of all the stakeholders are working together and looking at things from a positive light and keep moving things forward. Thank you so much for that. Everybody worked hard on this project to bring it to a fruition in a very expedited fashion, and I really think that this is one of the true examples where, when governmental agencies are able to work together, good progress are being delivered to our shared constituents. I also wanted to have a special shout out and thank for the mayors who in South San Francisco, San Bruno, Coma, and Daly City, and the city managers in all these respective cities who attended the North and Central County Mayoral Conference that we hosted here in Millbrae a couple months ago. And we all collectively seized the urgency and the need of this very important investment and improvement, and agreeing that this needs to be done ASAP. And now we're here to celebrate the grand opening of that and making that into a reality. And so, we look forward to working with BART or many other transit operator in the near future. We know we've got many things to work on together. And our goal is to make sure that everyone in San Mateo County can continue to thrive and depend on this public transit system, one rider at a time and for many more years to come. Thank you so very much, everybody. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker from the Bay Area Council President and CEO, Jim Wunderman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Great to be here in San Bruno, Mr. Mayor, San Mateo County. This is a really important event, and it's a real pleasure to be here. So I'm Jim Wunderman. I'm the President and CEO of the Bay Area Council, and long time ago, the organization's been around about 80 years, and early in its time, back in the 1950s, the leaders at that time said, we need a regional transportation system, and they basically created BART. They came up with a plan, they forged the legislation, and here we are, and as has been said by a number of speakers, we can't have the Bay Area without BART. It's unimaginable. And there are threats to it. So we have to work really hard to make sure BART is all that she can absolutely be. And when people ask me the question all these years later, well, what the hell is the Bay Area Council? I think, well, we created BART. So that's what I tell them, because people can associate with this something, and people like head nod at that point. I had the pleasure in my career, I worked for Mayor Feinstein when she was mayor of San Francisco, and I was the chief of staff to Mayor Jordan, and I had the opportunity to work on getting on this line, getting BART to SFO, and helping to come up with the alignment and all those things. It wasn't easy to conceive that. We had a little friction between one of our supervisors, Quentin Kopp, and Lou Turpin, who ran the airport, who said, not on my airport. So we actually designed how BART would get into the airport and then figured this out. I think it was one of the most important things we did for the Bay Area. I'm not alone in being from Pleasant Hill. Sue Nowak is my councilwoman. BART Director Matt Rinn was also on the council and mayor, as Sue was. Why is that important? There's probably more. Why is it? There's more from Pleasant Hill. Who else is from Pleasant Hill? Huh? Why is that important? Because the economy of the Bay Area, we have this beautiful, incredible bay. We're named after it. But getting across the bay is the centerpiece of the Bay Area economy. If you can't cross the bay, you can't make the Bay Area economy work very well. We have conquered that through BART. And it makes it possible for people like me to be here with people like you to do this and be here together. So BART really connects this region, and we have to invest in it, and we have to make sure it works. We had some, after the pandemic, it wasn't BART's best day, lost all the riders, financial challenges and all those things. Once in a while, Mr. Powers and I didn't agree on everything that was going on. But we said, look, we need to double down on BART. We need to make it work. And one of the issues was the fare gates. We need to move quickly and hard to take BART's plan to put in new age fare gates into the system and make it happen fast and on time. And BART did more than deliver on that project. And what we're doing here today is an absolute celebration of success and determination on a project. It's more than just the fare gates. This is about the Bay Area. This project signifies that the Bay Area can take on a challenge. It can put the team together, the engineers and the operations people. It can make it happen. It can make it happen on time. It can happen on budget. And not just to build something that really means something. It has changed BART. This is a different BART than the one I was riding a couple of years ago. And I'm the chair of the ferry system. I'm switching over to BART. Bob knows. And I say it even in the ferry meetings. We're not going to get BART passengers going over to the ferry anymore. No reason to. Because BART is reliable, BART is safe, and it's an incredibly different experience. And I just recommend to everybody, if you haven't, you're all, preaching to the choir, but tell your friends, if you haven't used BART lately, if you think BART's unsafe, take a ride, and you'll see quickly. Stations are clean, pristine, the train comes in, it gets you where you're going on time. Really, really fantastic. We had lunch, my team had lunch with Bob and his team last week in San Francisco, which was really great, just to talk about next steps and SB 63 and those kinds of things. And when I got on the train in Lafayette, there were two members of the crisis intervention team on the platform with me in the middle of the day. And when I got back on the train in San Francisco, there were two police officers visibly on the platform. This is all the difference in the world, what you guys have done. I commend you, BART, for taking up the opportunity here to create the world-class system that BART is meant to be. And thank you for making it clean, and thank you for making it safe. And for that, I have the honor of introducing BART's police chief, Kevin Franklin. Great job.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to thank the Bay Area Council, because there really is no better advocate for both public safety and for public transit than they have been. And so thank you, Jim, for your leadership on that. As Jim said, I'm Kevin Franklin. I'm the Chief of Police here at BART. And today it's a new day for safety on BART in San Mateo County. The arrival of these next generation fare gates has already proven to be a force multiplier for the BART Police Department. I'm really excited about the progress we're making in reducing crime on BART. My team of sworn officers with unarmed crisis intervention specialists, transit ambassadors, fare inspectors, community service officers are working hard to maintain our visible safety presence in the system. And I'm so glad to hear stories like Sue's, where she sees a problem on the train and we're on top of it. We're responding to it. I think Deputy Chief Scott probably handled a couple of those on his trip over here across the bay. These new fare gates are boosting our efforts and helping us deliver the safe BART experience our riders deserve. And to show the results of that, for the first 6 months of this year, violent crime on the system dropped from 171 incidents last year to 113 incidents this year. Property crimes fell even more, from 936 last year to 466 this year. And we didn't even have a single cell phone robbery for all of June across all 50 of our stations. That's progress. Now, when I'm out in the system, and I try to get out in the system frequently, talking to members of my team and frontline employees, talking to the passengers, I'm consistently told how these new gates are transforming the station environment. People feel safer once these gates come in. I firmly believe that once these new gates are installed in all 50 stations, and Sylvia, correct me, but I think we're already at 48 stations, so we're almost at 50. Wait for the plane. They will make a lasting difference for rider safety on BART. And now, I'm pleased to invite to the podium one of BART's frontline workers who has seen firsthand the impact of these gates. Here's BART station agent Ellie Darris.
Wow. Don't mind me, I'm a bit nervous. So I will say good morning, everyone. Buenos días a todos. Thank you for joining us today. You know, this has been a long time coming, and I am so happy. I'm excited with these new gates because I have seen the difference that they have made in our stations. As you know, we do not only work one station the entire year, we move around a lot, so I have seen the difference that they've made. In my opinion, the new fare gates are a definite benefit to BART by adding extra security and a more convenient way to collect fares with the introduction of contactless payment. The ability of these new gates to accept credit and debit directly will save BART patrons time and money. As we all know, we do have a lot of tourists in the Bay Area that are only here for a day or two, sometimes a few hours, and do not wish to spend that extra $3 fee on the Clipper card. So this for them will be exciting, as they no longer will have to wait in line and spend that money. The option especially benefits tourists and might might only need to use it once or twice, as I've already mentioned. But not only that, it actually provides security. People see these new gates and they compliment all the time on the fact that the fare evasion has gone down so much tremendously. Our stations do maintain themselves clean. So it's great having this new technology at BART. I do again say it's been a long time coming, and I'm happy that BART actually did catch up to other transit agencies that have had it implemented years ago. Whew, sorry. Thank you. In conclusion, thank you for joining us today in the start of a new chapter for BART. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to wrap up here, and then I'm going to see if I can't pull us together for a ribbon cutting. But I got a couple things to say here. Two other thank yous. I do want to acknowledge MTC Commissioner Gina Pappin. Commissioner Pappin. She is and likely will always be a staunch supporter of public transit in the Bay Area. Make no question about that. And always pushing for us, not just BART, but all of public transit to do better. So thank you for that, Commissioner Pappin. And a little bit of self-preservation, I better acknowledge the two BART board directors here. You may have another GM here the next time I'm down here. But I have BART Director Matt Wren and BART Director Robert Rayburn here. Thank you. They are two of my 9 bosses. So, and then, at the end of the day, we can push. Michael and I can push, and we can, blast through roadblocks and all of that, and set the vision and set the direction. But at the end of the day, there's got to be somebody that's building it, that's installing the capital project, that's going to maintain these, and that person is here today, and I haven't acknowledged her yet, but I'm going to right now, and she's standing right in front of me, and but for her, we wouldn't be here. So a big round of applause for Sylvia Lamb from the BART family. Sylvia. She is unfortunately the one that puts up with directives from Michael and I on schedule, and somehow she has managed to do that. So thank you for being part of the BART family, Sylvia. Okay, so with that, I'm going to do my best here. What we're going to do, everybody around here, we're going to make our way through the side gate here. No fare evasion here, right? I've got the BART chief of police here, and we don't want any of that. But we're going to go through the side gate. We're going to come around the other side, and we're going to do a big ribbon cutting ceremony here. And so if everybody could make their way to the side gate, and thank you all for being here. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Way to go, boss. Yeah, no. Good job. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's very kind. You made my day. Good to see you. I'm glad to put a face to the name and start a relationship. Yeah, for sure.
Mike's off. I want to make sure. Yeah, I know. You know what? Newspaper, flowers. There's a whole bunch of opportunities.
Yeah, no, there's definitely.
Oh, my lucky friend.